Yo, what's going on, man? Today is the 1st of July. We are officially in the second half of the year. This is the ChrisBeCappinn Show, where we are live on Twitter and YouTube as well. Trying to find some winners, man. That's all we're trying to do is find some winners. Quick recap of yesterday, and then we will jump into the two games that we have on the board for today. We actually got 4 games in W for tomorrow, so definitely want to get ahead, see some of those numbers changing already. So hopefully we can do just that. I'll go through the comments after I do a quick recap, and then we'll get into the 2 games for today. All right, so let's do just that. Yesterday, I came on the show. Was a couple plays that I had like kind of written down. Only one official play, which was Atlanta, New York, to go over the 165.5 yesterday. We actually got a little CLB. That play ended up being trash. The Liberty have their worst first quarter of the season. They actually score, I think it was the second worst first half of the season as well. Don't score any points, which is typically where they score a lot of their points. And that game goes under. Shout out to Jordan Canada, though. I literally think that she killed the under. She killed the over. Just her defense on Sabrina Ionescu was pretty tremendous. I think Sabrina had like 2 points going into the fourth quarter. So that ended up being a loser. Phoenix first half did get there. Thank God I got in and got out because they ended up blowing the double-digit lead that they had against the Indiana Fever, who got their first win against a team that was above 500% so far in the season. A lot of parity in the WNBA right now. Lots and lots of parity. Minnesota first half was a loser. Chicago just continues to come out really, really well at home. I thought that Minnesota was in a bounce back spot after losing to Dallas the other day. Nope, I was wrong. And the Chicago team total did stay under the 78.5. That fourth quarter where they scored just 5 points was definitely helpful. So first quarter, they come out on fire. And that's been the trend with Chicago. This is a really good first quarter team for whatever reason. First half team, specifically at home, they're typically always getting points. We went 2-2 yesterday. Biggest play was the over between the Atlanta Dream and the New York Liberty, which was a loser. So we lose about almost half a unit yesterday, continuing just to go in the wrong direction. I mean, it doesn't hurt that bad when you're losing a little bit, but who wants to lose? We're not here to lose. So hopefully we can be a little bit better today. There's a couple of ways that I'm looking to play these games today. Haven't made any official plays, but excited to jump into it with you guys and let you guys know how I'm kind of looking at this one. Looking at these 2 games that we have on the board for today. So let's go through a couple of the comments really quickly, and then we will get into the games for today. Mitchell says, morning, Chris. Crazy letdown spot by the Mercury, up double digits at home in the second half and blew the lead to the Fever. Yeah, like I said, this comment specifically makes me think about the parity in the WNBA right now. I mean, you just see teams that, like I talked about this with the Sparks like a couple weeks ago. The Sparks are one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams that they can have a really good half. You don't know whether it's going to be the first half or the second half. They can have a really good first half or second half and then just kind of disappear. We see it from the Washington Mystics all the time. Good first half team and then can't, hold on. And you also saw yesterday from the Indiana Fever. They looked terrible in the first, few minutes of the game. And they come all the way back and win that game. Same thing with Chicago. Chicago looked like they would come beat Minnesota for a while. They ended up not even covering the spread. A lot of parity in the WNBA, it feels like, which makes it difficult to bet. I think, just moving forward, instead of, I wouldn't say forcing plays, but instead of even having plays, I might just end up playing placing some live bets on what I think is going to happen after the game, after I see how the game kind of starts. So, yeah, members, I think I will be firing off some more live plays because I'm locked in. I'm watching the games, just kind of either don't get a chance to get the plays out in time, or just don't want to live bet all the time. Protege, the rapper says BG sat in the third quarter and killed Phoenix. Roman says it's the Caitlin Clark and Angel script. They're good for the WNBA ratings, and that is a fact. They are definitely good for the ratings. But if you think that Phoenix was trying to lose on purpose last night, I disagree. What's up to my guy, Midnight Toker? Roman says Diana Taurasi and Jewel Lloyd for 2 threes today. What do you think, Chris? Diana Taurasi definitely going to be shooting them, I think so, on the second leg of a back-to-back. And, yeah, I couldn't talk you off Jewel Lloyd being able to knock down 2 threes either, Roman, against Dallas. Yeah, couldn't talk you off. What are the odds? Let me know. Tommy says that plus 14 was a steal. Yeah, I did say plus 14 and a half. You could have got a plus 15 and a half on Caesars yesterday at 1.2. I didn't even play the plus 14 and a half, but that was a winner for sure. Jacob says, how did Lynx minus 7.5 cash? They were down all game. Chicago's offense is really, really bad. They can't shoot free throws. If they're not getting a bunch of offensive rebounds, they really, really struggle to score. And if they're not forcing turnovers, we talked about that yesterday. Their team total under looked sweaty in the first quarter. It was smooth sailing after that. I think they finished with like 50-something points, and we had an under 77.5 or under 78.5. What up to my guy, Mark? He says, good morning, Christian community. Shaking off a rough weekend, ready for a new week, new month, new money, Mark. That's what we after. TC Bets cash the links plus minus the 5.5. Prestigious Party says, ChrisBeCappinn, man, thanks for the consistency and dedication. Appreciate this comment as well. Dropping Dime says, good morning, Chris and chat people. Jay Aries in here says, good morning. Keep smacking them, homie. What up, Jay Muse? Eric in here with us as always. Jamie got let down by the Mercury. Yeah, they did not come to play at all. 21.5 for Joel Lloyd tonight, Aaron says. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a second. Marquis says, morning, people. Tried to tell you about the plus 7.5 on the Fever. Been playing well before 2 games scared. Well, the other thing to this, the opposite side of this, Marquis, it's easy coming here to play money on the quarterback. But the opposite side of this is that the Mercury, the Fever didn't have a win against a team that had a 50% win percentage. And not only do the Mercury win at a 50%, Mercury are, I think, 8-8, something like that. But they were at home. They're 7-2. They were 7-2 straight up and against the spread. One of the hardest places to play. So if you could say, it was a sharp play. You could also say they were getting the brakes beat off of them and, just found a way to come back as well. We haven't seen that. So for you to go out on that limb, shout out to you. I'm glad you cashed it, but I tried to tell y'all, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Sincerely says yesterday was rough. We always bounce back. That's a fact. We will. Couple Joe said that Sunline opened minus 1.5. Now it's minus 3. It actually opened plus 1.5. The Sun were actually a dog, and when the game first opened yesterday. What up, Jordan? What up to my guy Prolific Bitsy in here as well. Jose in here. Caitlin Clark played on the triple-double. Caitlin Coach played on the triple-double. Well, she was sick. It's not sick. I think she wasn't feeling well is what the reports were. She had a migraine or something like that. So yeah, she did end up not being available for post-game interview yesterday and went out late in the fourth quarter. They needed though. Kelsey Mitchell got the job done. What up to my guy Justin? More Life Sway, so he cashed the Dream, Sky first half, and the Mercury first half. Glad you cashed them. All right, let's get into the 2 games that we have on the board for today. Like I said, just 2 games. One of them is a rematch from the last one. So first game up, we have the Connecticut Sun. Laughing at my guy Chad. What up, Chad? First game up, we got the Connecticut Sun and the Phoenix Mercury. Game will be played in Phoenix tonight. Man, I got a lot of thoughts about this game. I've been thinking long and hard about this game since I saw it open yesterday. Like I said, this line did open with the Connecticut Sun. The Mercury was actually laying 1.5, I think it was, something like that. But I know the Connecticut Sun opened as a dog, and they've moved to a 3-point favorite now. This is a spot where, to me, it feels like live betting is probably going to be better than anything else. But I'll talk to you guys about how I'm kind of feeling about the game if I had to place a wager before it actually started. So let's get into it. So we got a Connecticut Sun team that is coming off 2 days rest. Their last game, they played at home versus the Atlanta Dream. We were on the right side in that game. We didn't even need the points. Dream came in and beat Connecticut outright. Connecticut was on the second leg of a back-to-back after beating the Washington Mystics, but they had to come from behind in that game. So 2 days rest for the Connecticut Sun. They're 1-3 straight up in their last 4, 0-5 against the number in their last 5 as well. 13-4 on the season. They've hit a major regression. Remember, this team was undefeated. They were like 10-0, 11-0. And like I said, last 4, they are 1-3 straight up. On the season, 7-10 against the number. On the road, this is where their losses come at. Well, that can't be right. They haven't even lost 6 games. So I definitely mixed this up. This might have been looking at the numbers from last year. Let me update this real quick. feel like I have one of these mistakes a day. They are 6-2. That's supposed to say 6-2. So let's update this real quick. Don't want to have any misinformation out there. So 6-2 straight up on the road. 3-5 against the number. I'm not sure where I got these numbers from. 3-5. So they haven't been covering, but they have been winning on the road. And those offensive and defensive numbers are correct. These are the last 5. Offensively, you can see that they've really been struggling, which is one of the reasons why I don't really want to trust them in this spot. Offensively, second worst offense over the last 5 games. Defensively, still number 4, but they were number 1 for a large part of the season. And the net rating is 8th over the last 5 games. Now, you look at this Mercury team, second leg of a back-to-back, of course, after losing last night to the Indiana Fever. Third straight home game for them as well. And, of course, they're coming off the loss yesterday as a 7.5 point favorite. So 8-8 straight up on the season, 10-6 against the number. They have been covering. Since Brittany Griner got back, they've been covering, and Becca Allen got back, definitely covering a little bit more as well. And at home, now it is 7-3 straight up, 7-3 against the number. So to me, it kind of felt like I can make an argument for both. And when I can, I typically stay off the side. I can see the Mercury bouncing back in this one and getting a win just because I don't trust Connecticut right now. Connecticut does not look like the Connecticut. The Connecticut over the last 5 games look nothing like the Connecticut in the first 7 or 8 games. The one thing that really stood out to me was I do think the longer the game goes on, maybe the more that it favors Connecticut. Connecticut has been a much better second half team than they've been the first half teams throughout the season. So if you like the Mercury, I think you do want to take them early just because they could fade. I also think it's important to mention, nobody's reported on this, but Becca Allen, remember she was listed as questionable with a back injury yesterday. She, we don't know whether she's going to play or not. She looked good yesterday. She played. Could she miss this game because it's the second leg of a back-to-back and she was listed as questionable yesterday? Potentially. I'm not 100% sure. So if you want Connecticut, in my opinion, full game probably is the best side. I wouldn't even lay the points with them just because I really can't trust their offense. It's looked really, really poor. Outside of playing against Washington, this offense is really, really bad. Defensively, they kind of, hang in there. I wanted to attack the total and go under. I think I still kind of lean towards the under at 159.5 at open 160, but I didn't quite get there either just because the pace in the game is really weird. Connecticut's the slowest paced team in the WNBA. Of course, the Mercury are the fastest paced team in the WNBA. We did see them go under yesterday, but that total was much higher. It was 175. And then you got a total of just 159.5. Connecticut is an under team on the road. Mercury are over team at home. So yeah, I just couldn't quite get there on anything. But let me tell you guys how I am looking at the game. If I had to make one play in this one, I think I would look towards if only one play in the game, I would look towards the Mercury early. I think either first quarter or first half. And they've done really, really good in the first quarter and then not so well in the first half, or either done really, really poorly in the first quarter or okay in the first quarter and then not so good in the first half as well. It's like they really can't string together 2 good quarters for whatever reason. Even yesterday, they struggled in the second quarter after they won the first quarter. But it's more of a faith of Connecticut starting the game off. So what I went through and looked back at is Connecticut. They've been starting the games off terribly as of late. In their last game against Atlanta, it was 19-19 at the end of the first quarter. They didn't cover the number. Versus the Mystics the day before, they were down 32-21 in DC. They didn't cover that first quarter. Excuse me. Connecticut was actually beating Seattle 14-8 at the end of the first quarter. But I give a little bit more. I guess I discredit Seattle's offense. Granted, Connecticut's defense is not bad, but Connecticut holding a team to 8 points in the first quarter, that seems a little misleading to me. So I think I don't want to give Connecticut too much credit for being up 14-8 at the end of the first quarter. And then versus Vegas, of course, Connecticut was down 20-16 at the end of the first quarter as well. Didn't cover that game either. They haven't had a dominant first quarter since they played Dallas. They played the Wings back on the 15th, which was a little over 2 weeks ago. I think they were up by 10 at the end of the first quarter, but Dallas was going through a ton of injuries in that game. We know the Mercury have come out strong, at least early in the game, before they kind of take their foot off the gas or let go of the pedal, whatever you want to call it. They've been really, really strong at home, really, really strong at home. So I kind of want to you can get a +1 and a half. I think it's juiced like -125. But if I had to play anything in this game, I think that's the way I would look, is just the Mercury, even if they're going to run out of gas, take them early. Connecticut's offense, it takes them a long time. They're really stagnant. They take terrible shots late into the shot clock. So I would look at Mercury early if I had to play anything else. And I'll go through some of the comments real quick, but I want to talk about the matchups as well. Let's see what you guys are saying about this one. Dallon says he had the Fever money line +325 and the Sky +150 cash. Well, I don't know how you played the Sky because they didn't win, but maybe you played them early or something. Justin says he live bet the Lynx yesterday was clutch at half when they were down. Yeah, nice bounce back spot for them yesterday, Justin. Glad you got that number. What else y'all saying about this one? Lord of the Realms says I'm liking Sun Mercury under 159.5. Me too, Ron. I worry about the Mercury pace though. The Mercury have been the third best defense over the last 5 games. I know they gave up some points against Caitlin Clark yesterday, but I don't think either team got to their team total yesterday. Maybe, I think Indiana definitely got over their team total. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily because the Mercury defense didn't play too bad. They just shoot a bunch of threes and move up and down the floor. Mel says, told y'all boys bet live these -14.5 spreads getting crazy. Yeah, that was too crazy yesterday. Mercury +3 betted this morning, Justin says. Marquis says that 4-game win streak with Fever. Caitlin been facilitating and finding people. She looks comfortable. They need to just tighten up defense. Yeah, they still can't guard anybody, but get Timmy from Bagley back, I think definitely helps a lot. She was big yesterday, even though she had a negative +/-. Dropping Dom says he likes the first half under 81. I can see that. Chad says he got +106 on the Sun money line. They were tripping. Suns are fraud. Suns are definitely frauds though. Yeah, Chad tripped me out. He's going back and forth on Twitter last night. I said, you like the Suns? You always call them frauds. Chad said, yeah, for this one, yeah, I'll be on the Suns. Light Bear, what's going on, my brother? More Life Sway says, if you think the Mercury can cover, just take them on the money line. They usually cover when they win and don't cover when they lose at home. And I would agree with that as well. Mercury +1, first half +1.5 might be a good look, Dropping Down says, yeah. Either first half or first quarter. I just kind of feel like they've been better in the first quarter than the first half. Let's see. Chad says, but they will be desperate and the Mercury are tired. Diana Taurasi on the back-to-back playing definitely at 787 years old. Yeah, Taurasi might not be she might be off in this one. I can see that. And if Becca Allen doesn't play for whatever reason, it should be a Connecticut Sun spot. I've been watching this Connecticut Sun team play, and Chad kind of called it out a while ago. They do not look like they can score the basketball. You're going up against one of the better offenses in the WNBA. Let's see. OJ says, can you explain your approach to a game when you see a drastic line movement after opening like this one, +1.5 to now -3? So in my opinion, OJ, I just kind of think that it's public. I think the public are, just kind of looking at the game and saying, okay, Mercury on the second leg of a back-to-back. You got Connecticut coming off loss as a favorite. They probably gonna bounce back in this game. And that could be the logic, right? Like that could just be enough. Because when I see the line movement, that's what I'm thinking. Because yesterday I was immediately thinking like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take the Sun on the money line. And then I'm like, no, I'm not. Like let me look a little bit deeper. The other thing I want to mention real quick as well, I forgot to mention this, but this comment makes me think about it. The Connecticut Sun played the Mercury twice last year. And remember, the Mercury sucked last year. BG wasn't there. She was in and out. She was injured. They didn't have Kalia Copper. They didn't have Natasha Cloud. They didn't have Becca Allen. They sucked last year. And they still beat the Connecticut Sun twice. I remember being on Connecticut one game, and they ended up getting smoked in Phoenix. So for whatever reason, they lost both times last year. When they were good last year, the Sun were good. They lost both games last year in Phoenix to a way worse Mercury team. So that gave me some hesitation as well, because I think the way teams play in certain arenas is something that I kind of monitor for sure. And I take that into the handicapping process. Let's see. What up to my guy, Sai? Justin says, ain't this Rabinga for Mercury? Think they got smoked by Sun earlier. Revenge game for Mercury. They did get smoked. It was like 70-47. It was the worst 3-point shooting game in WNBA history. That was before BG came back, though, because I looked into this too, Justin. That was before BG came back. It was it might have been the second leg of a back-to-back for the Mercury. No, it was the first leg of a back-to-back for the Mercury. They actually had the Liberty on deck the next game. I remember being on the over in that game. I was heated. You go back and find the tweets. I was heated. But yeah, it is a revenge game for the Mercury. I don't know how much that means. But I will say, no. That means something. I'm glad you mentioned this, Justin. I wrote this down yesterday. Real quick. Let me get to my notes. So Connecticut, what did I write down? Maybe I didn't write it down. No, yes I did. Phoenix, 5-0 straight up and against the spread in revenge games this season. Phoenix has not lost a revenge game. So if you've beaten Phoenix, you have not beaten them a second time. They've beaten you every second time. So yeah, it is a revenge game, Justin. I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot I wrote that down. Connecticut is 6-1 though this season when they're facing an opponent that they've already beaten as well. So I did write that down. Shout out to my guy Justin for making me look back in my notes. Calling Taurasi a dinosaur, fossilized Taurasi. Yeah, terrible in the comments, man. Mark says, do you think more money will come in on the Sun? Want a better line for the Mercury? I think potentially, yeah. I don't think it's gonna get too crazy though. Like maybe 3.5. I think 3 is about right though, unless we see some injury news, Mark, for the Mercury. Like I said, Becca Allen potentially not playing today. Connecticut got everybody though. Everybody except Mariah Jefferson is going to be there for Connecticut today. Aaron says, I agree. Live betting to me is a great choice. Yeah, I'm going to be live betting for sure. Bruce says, good morning. Chris, let's get this money. That's what we after. What up, Chad? Chad says, if you like the Mercury, yes. Line will continue to grow, in his opinion. Okay. Marquis says, I think under is the play. Connecticut needs Kennedy Carter instead of instant offense play. They definitely need somebody, man. They definitely need it. My guy Sai says, Mercury blew a 15-point lead in the second half. Connecticut's a better team. Yeah, but they struggle. They can struggle, Si. They definitely can struggle. Aaron says Connecticut is too inconsistent for me to trust them offensively. That's how I was thinking about it, Aaron. Definitely how I was thinking about it. Couple Joe says you're right about these opening lines. Took a shot last night on Mercury, on the Mercury OTT. I'm not sure. Over on that team total. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that as much. Line at 160.5 now. So if you like the underweight, I ain't touching the total. Yeah, agree with that, Justin, as well. Definitely wait. Barrett says Suns team total under. Coffee and Chris sounds great combo. No, I don't want to trust the Mercury defense for the full game. But I think both of these teams could play defense. It really is just going to be about pace. So let's go back to it real quick before we jump into the other game. Because I was looking into this as well. I haven't told you guys about matchups and stuff. All right, so if we look at what the Phoenix Mercury like to do, they want to shoot a ton of threes, of course. A ton of above the break threes as well. It's what they did yesterday. They're just missing all of them late in the game. So if you match them up against the Connecticut defense, they got a couple matchup advantages. The Mercury are, let's see. The Mercury are they're shooting the mid-range shot at the third highest percent, about 43%, taking and making the third most above the break threes, taking 22, making 8, shooting about 36% from the three-point line over the last 5 games, which is middle of the pack in the WNBA at 6. And then you look at what Connecticut's doing defensively against the three-point line. The numbers say that they've actually been doing well. I saw Washington light them up in the first half. They really didn't make a 3 after that. I think they still ended up shooting less than 35%. Washington did, even after scoring 32 points in the first quarter. I forgot how many they had at the end of the first half, but that game ended up over the total, and I think it was like 90-something to 90-something. So Connecticut's above the break three defense is pretty good. They're actually third over the last 5 games in opponent makes. They're only giving up 4.2. On the season, they're second, giving up just 4 threes above the break threes per contest. They don't allow you to take a lot of shots from out there, second fewest, less than 13 per game. And their opponents are shooting less than 33% from the three-point line, which is 4th best in the WNBA. So that does go to the strength of the under. If Connecticut can keep this Mercury team off the three-point line, they definitely gonna have a chance. Now Bree Jones gonna have her hands full down there, of course, with BG. BG's look really, really good. But it is the second leg of a back-to-back. Phoenix hasn't played that many back-to-backs this season. So a couple, things that I think I definitely think that Phoenix can struggle to shoot the basketball in this game. And then last but not least, let's go through. So let's see, Mercury not scoring a lot of points on fast break, and they're actually scoring they're not getting a lot of points off turnovers either. So yeah, a couple advantages there. So let's flip it. Let's go Connecticut Sun versus Phoenix Mercury. I like to look at last 5 games. Not really a lot of matchup advantages for Connecticut. Like their offensive rating, like I said, is 11th over the last 5 games. Defensively, it's how they're getting it done. They are 4th defensively. Only scoring 76.4 points per game, which is the second fewest. Only giving up 79, which is the 3rd fewest. So game total equaling about, what is that? 6, 5, carry 1, 155 over the last 5 games for the Connecticut Sun. But the Mercury, 84 to 82. That's 166. So the bookmaker set the total right in the middle. Right in the middle, 166 and 155. Let's see. And then I talked about pace. Slowest pace team, Connecticut only playing at 93.78 pace, and the Mercury playing 100.32, which is by far the fastest in the WNBA over the last 5 games. So on the court, we got a Connecticut Sun team that loves to attack the paint. They are taking and making the second most shots in the restricted area, only shooting 61%, which is 8th. Phoenix Mercury they're holding teams to the second fewest attempts and second fewest makes in the WNBA in the restricted area, but their opponents are shooting 75% in the restricted area, which is the worst. They're the worst defensive team as far as restricted area field goal percentage. So when teams do get into the paint, they are scoring. They're converting those attempts into points. Mercury been good against shots in the paint, but not in the restricted area. They also really struggle giving up a bunch of three-pointers. They are the worst three-point defense over the last 5 games. However, Connecticut can't shoot the basketball. They actually attempt they actually make the 3rd fewest threes, attempt the 2nd fewest threes, and only shoot 34% from the three-point line, which is also bottom 4. So yeah, it does seem like it's supposed to be an under game in my opinion. Connecticut scores the most points off turnovers in the W. Phoenix gives up the 5th most. Allow the 5th least, only about 15 per game. Connecticut doesn't score in transition. They are last in fast break points. And they score the 4th most points in the paint in the WNBA. And the Mercury give up the 2nd fewest. Connecticut scores 37.6, so almost 38 points in the paint. The Mercury only allowed 31 points in the paint per contest. So yeah, everything to me felt like an under spot, but the number is a little bit low. All right, let's see. Let me go back to the comments. Wanted to go through that real quick for you guys before we get into the next game. Jay Ari says the DT played like 34 minutes. She was trying to show out versus Caitlin Clark. She definitely was. Light Bear likes DeWanna Bonner in this game to get 20 and 8. Bruce says Dejanay Carrington over her 13.5 points. Justin, I'm with this one. He says, I don't care nothing about Sharps in public, but my opinion, Sharps are hammering Sun. Public ain't moving the line that drastic again, in my opinion. So to your point, Justin, I do feel like the people who are betting early, which I typically bet early. If you've been a member for a while, I typically bet early. I do feel like the people who are betting early are the Sharps. Sharps typically bet early, and then they just kind of wait. And then if the line moves too much, they'll come back in on the opposite side just to kind of get a middle for people who know what middling is. Because when the games go off yesterday, a lot of people not capping the games or, putting their bets in on the games before the next day. A lot of people waiting, 30, 40 minutes before the game, an hour before the game. So, yeah, I would agree with that. The early money, in my opinion, is typically sharp money. Vino says Sun only beat bottom feeders. Really? Let's take a look at that. I don't know if I agree with that, but let's see if you're making a point. So the Sun only beat. Oh no, you're right. I thought you meant the Mercury only beating bottom feeder. Yeah, the Sun have only really been beating bottom feeders. They have one good win against. They actually don't got no impressive wins. They don't got a. The Sun have literally beat the Mystics, the Sparks, the Wings, the Sky, the Fever. Lost to the Liberty, beat the Mystics again, the Dream, the Wings, the Mercury, the Sky, the Link. Well, they did beat the Lynx. I'll give them credit for that one, but that was an overtime game. And I always talk about how they shouldn't have won that one. The Mystics, the Fever. Yeah, you're right. They have no quality wins, in my opinion, outside of that Lynx game. Yeah. One, Dante G says, do you ever hedge your bets? Very, very frequently. Very, very frequently will I hedge a bet. But yeah, I will. Absolutely will. All right, all good, Justin. All good, bro. Marquis says Mercury went 1 for 27 from 3 in that game. Yeah, they shot terrible. I remember that one. I was screaming at the TV. Jay Aries likes Dan Taurasi over 3.5 assists at -160 from yesterday. Says I got a milestone line at 3. She ended at 3. I like it again here off a loss and back-to-back spot. I think she struggles to score and gets the dimes off. Okay. Chad said public isn't moving the line at all. Books could care less who public on because they will lose it back in time anyway. And that I would also agree with that. Justin says, I see something on the Mercury against the spread off back-to-backs. Heavy in Mercury favor. Can you check that real quick if you got time? Mercury ATS off back-to-back. I don't think they've been playing back-to-back. Yeah, it's the second game of the season of a back-to-back. The Mercury they played the Liberty on the second leg of a back-to-back. And that was the game that they played the Sun before. The game was played in Connecticut at Mohegan Center. Yep, agree with that. Unique says, any player props that stand out to you on this game? Nah, Unique, I didn't really look into it too much. I think, fading Diana Taurasi, not necessarily the worst look. Somebody mentioned her playing so many minutes yesterday. You get the slowest pace team on the opposite side. I'm not even sure what Diana Taurasi's line is, but I can see Taurasi really struggling. She's probably, I'm not sure. Dejanay probably going to end up on Kalia Copper, in my opinion, if you really want to. Kalia Copper is the best offensive player. So, yeah, I think but I kind of want to fade Bree Jones, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. But those are the ways that I would look, just right off the top of my head, not looking at any of the numbers. Probably a fade of Diana Taurasi just because she is old and she played yesterday and she hasn't played a lot of back-to-backs. And they got other people that can score the basketball. Lightbearer said Carrington going for 15 and 3 threes. Likes Kalia Copper to get 25. What up to my guy Razor? What up, Razor? He said shout out to everyone. What's up, Chris? Good luck today and let's start the month off with a bang. Absolutely. Sincerely says, I've been live betting the lowest scoring game I can find. When the score goes down, I add 50 every 5 points. It goes down. Worked great with the Lynx game last night. As long as it's supposed to be that way. Yeah. Mark says, teams without rest after a home loss stats. I looked into this yesterday, Mark. It wasn't anything too significant, I don't think. So, I'll look into it real quick. So, unrested home teams after a loss, 18 and 20 straight up, 20, 17 and 1 against the number, win by average of 2 points. And that dates all the way back to 2011. So you don't really see this happen too often. I did look into something similar to this yesterday, Mark. It was, like I said, 18 and 20, not anything significant there. Jared says, I'm seeing 2.5 moving to -3 on the sharp books with 75% of the public on Connecticut. Where's the huge line movement we're talking about? No. You miss. I think you missing this. You heard. We were saying that. I was saying that this line open. I want to say it was +1.5. So you've seen 4.5 points of movement. Honestly, in less than 12 hours on this game, which is a lot. For people who look that deeply into the game. Real quick, let me just double check that. So yeah, the Sun were +1.5 when it opened. I think it opened on DraftKings. So +1.5 to a 3-point favorite is a 4.5 point move, 4.5 point line change. That's drastic movement. That's a huge line move, in my opinion. If I could have got you +1.5 and now I got to lay 3 with you on the road, that's drastic in my opinion. Donovan likes Leah Copper over her points. Yep, that's where we at with it, Chad. That's exactly where it is. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this though, G-Hurt. A lot of people don't know this. You really got to follow DraftKings early. The same way you see right now, if you go look, you see the Aces play the Fever tomorrow. And that total opened 170.5, I want to say. It's already up to 173, but if you go look, it's probably gonna say open at 172 because the first book that puts out the line is typically DraftKings. So that's where a lot of these first lines come from. What up, Dream? He says looking at AT over her 16.5 rebounds. We saw what Caitlin Clark did yesterday. Almost had that triple-double, missed it by a rebound yesterday. So Alyssa Thomas over her 16.5 rebounds and assists in this one. And that makes sense, especially if it's going to be a pace-up game. Also, real quick to Dream's point, the Mercury haven't really been a great rebounding team. Interestingly enough, because you get BG back. BG's been playing for probably about 8 games. And they're the worst defensive rebounding team in the WNBA. They actually allow the most defensive rebounds in the WNBA, and they're the second worst rebounding team over the last 5 games. Very, very interesting to me. Almost like, for whatever reason, the team that got the biggest women don't rebound the basketball. Connecticut, well, I guess you could say, I say give up a lot of rebounds because I think about Dallas. Dallas still gets smoked on the rebounds. They got Kalani Brown and Tierra McCowan. We're going to talk about them in a second. And then on the opposite side, you got Chicago, with Cardosa and Angel Reese, and they still give up a ton of rebounds as well. So, yeah, that's a good look from Dream here. Alyssa Thomas over her 16.5 rebounds and assists. Also reminding everybody, hit the like button. Appreciate you, Dream. Hope all is well, my brother. And best of luck today. He says, how do you play the Storm money line? Minus is 750. Yeah, definitely not doing that. All right, let's keep. I just wanted to go through the comments. We only got 2 games. Klein says, what do you think about Diana Taurasi under her 2.5 threes? Yeah, I gave you the numbers. Connecticut is a really good 3-point defense. They should definitely want to run her off the line. Any take from Ozzy? Okay. Any takes on Olympic qualifying tournaments? None at all. Haven't even checked it out at all. What up, Nando? He says, Chris, what's up? Blessed day. He said, what the Lakers doing signing Elaine Klay Thompson and untalented James Jr.? We dead next season. Hold on. We break news? We ain't signed Klay, did we? Did I miss something? Nah, you tripping. I'm like, hold on. Lakers showing interest in DeMar DeRozan. I don't see anything about Klay. It's the threes, Chris, and women can't jump, so it goes over their heads to get to the guards. That's funny from J. Aries. The big girls focus on boxing out, where Angel going to get that. That's a fact. The Sun are, Sun not a good rebounding team either. They've actually been one of the worst rebounding teams, so it's no advantage either, honestly. You're talking about McClain. You're talking about the worst rebounding team versus the second worst rebounding team over the last 5 games. Connecticut started off the season really good. They were the third best rebounding team. Overall, in the full season, they're still the third best rebounding team. Last 5 games, they look really, really bad, though. Really, really bad. All right, let's here you go. Chad got some qualifier picks. There you go. If you guys looking for that. Let's get on to the next game. I've been on here chatting for so long about one game, man. I gotta speed up. We got the Wings and the Storm. Game probably didn't move. Line didn't move. I'm talking so much. Actually hasn't moved. Total coming down just a tad bit. All right, cool. Yeah, 11 and a half is the line. This line, double check this one real quick. This one opened 11. So yeah, not a lot of line movement here at all. And the total open 168 and a half. It is up. So up just a tad bit, but not a lot of line movement here. Let's jump into this one. So these two teams, of course, just played. Jesus Christ, bro. What am I doing out here? Let's just say Wings and Storm. I didn't even change that. Wings and Storm, minus 11 and a half, total 169. All right, here we go. All right, so you get a Wings team. Both of these teams, of course, coming off one day's rest. Second straight road game for the Wings, and they have played 5 of their last 6 games on the road. 4 and 12, 4 and 14 straight up, 7 and 11. These numbers are right. 2 and 9 straight up on the road, and 5 and 6 against the number on the road. It's been a lot of lack of offense, a lot of lack of defense, of course. But can you lay 12 with the Storm at home? This team has continued to, just cover the number. They're really, really good, specifically at home. You can see that they're 7 and 1 straight up, 6 and 2 against the number. And 4th straight home game for them. I mentioned a while ago, like a couple games ago, that they were going to be on like I think a 7 or 9 game homestand. They've come home and covered every single game. Really, hasn't been close. I want to check something real quick, something I forgot to look at. I want to look at the Storm in their home wins. So in their 7 home wins so far, they're 6 and 1 against the number, winning by an average of 16 points. 88.43 to 72.43. So winning by average of 16 points. The only cover that they didn't get was against the Fever. That was the first game, their first home game of the season back on May the 22nd. So they've covered every single game. Really difficult for me to look towards the Wings. I'm not looking towards the Wings. I think Connecticut, I think the Storm continue to stay hot in this game. Do I want to lay 12 with them? Not really. Would I take the 11 and a half with the Wings? No, I would not. I would only look towards the Storm in this game. They're just a lot better than the Wings, honestly. That's what it really comes down to. The one thing I'll mention real quick, I did go through and listen to the post-game interviews. And Coach Noelle Quinn said that she definitely wants to give her team some credit, but she also wants to make sure that they understand that the mission is not done. They have this like really good mindset. I always think about teams kind of letting up a little bit when they, are super big favorites, but the Storm just continue to cover. Like I said, they've covered, every home game outside of that first one against the Fever. And we know, Skylar Diggins-Smith was still trying to get herself together, and the team was still trying to get acclimated to playing with each other. So with the Storm, as you can see, if they win the game, they cover 12 and 6 straight up, 12 and 6 against the number. And it really doesn't matter what the number is. So I was still elated 11 and a half in this game. But the way I'm chosen to play this one, haven't locked it in yet, is especially with the total moving up. I like Dallas team total to go under. The number is 78 and a half. And I'll just start with this. In their 9 road losses so far for the Wings, they've only scored 79 points once. And in 8 games, Seattle has, in their 8 home wins for Seattle, they've only given up 79 or more once in their last 6 home games, 6 home wins. So in my opinion, even if Seattle, for whatever reason, is stagnant on offense or struggle to score the basketball for whatever reason, I still think that they can rely on their defense. Dallas shot 46% from the field when these two teams played on Saturday night. I think it was Saturday night. and they shot 33% from the 3-point line. Those numbers are actually better than what they typically shoot. They on the season they shoot 43% from the field and 31% from the 3-point line. So yeah, I kind of feel like Dallas is going to struggle offensively. I don't necessarily agree with the total going up. Can Dallas get to 90 points? I mean, can Storm get to 90 points again? I think that they can. But if you watch the beginning of that game, you saw Dallas make a concerted effort. Coach Trammell really wanted her team to try to seal deep. So Kalani Brown not Kalani Brown, but Tierra McCowan had a couple easy baskets right at the rim, kind of sealed Ezzie Magmagor. After that, that was it. So if I'm playing this game, I'm looking at Enrique unders. I'm looking at the full game to go under, and I like the Seattle Storm on the spread, even at the -11.5. Tyrese Maxey just got paid. Yep, 5 years, $205 million. Shout out to Maxey, man. He deserves it. He definitely deserves it. I like Maxey a lot. All right. So yeah, that's real quick on that's just super quick on this game. I just don't see a way Dallas can be able to score consistently. And I think the Storm will still be locked in defensively. Also, I want to mention one more thing real quick. The turnovers in that last game. So Dallas turned the ball over 19 times, ended up leading to 23 points off turnovers. And Seattle also turned the ball over 15 times and led to 19 points as well. I think, some of those turnovers come down just a tad bit. I don't know if Seattle turned the ball over that many times. The Wings could potentially. But yeah, I think this is a little bit more of an under game specifically for the Wings. They scored 25 points at the end of the first quarter, still didn't get to this number, which was 78.5 on for today. So yeah, if I'm playing the game, I like the Wings team total to go under and Seattle minus the points. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Wings are tanking for Juju, Jamie said. That could be it. That definitely could be it. Darius says Tierra McCowan first basket cash 2 or 3 games straight against the Storm. If you're into that should be around 550. Chad says he has no faith in the Wings. Right there with you. Jordan says any chance the Wings can cover or win? I don't think they can win. Could they cover? Yeah, they could cover. Anything's possible. Oh man, I'm not even gonna read that. That's funny though. Devon likes Jill Lloyd over her points. Chad says all the interviews are disturbing. They are content losing and waiting on teams to get healthy. Cubba Joe says I have the Wings having a bit more fight tonight. I am not touching them to cover though. It's still barbecue chicken. Would agree there. What up, Three Kings Tough? He says I'm late but top of the morning. Network says I'm on the Sun and the under in the Wings and the Storm game. Okay. Lord of the Realms says, do you see Paul George game aging well like LeBron's? I don't know. I didn't really think about that. Potentially, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Paul George is a prototypical player that you want. He can play the 2, the 3, the 4, can shoot, can defend. Nice game off the dribble. Yeah, I mean, Philly played him. They paid him like he was going to age really, really well because he's not spring chicken anymore. Paul George getting up there in age, but yeah. Appreciate you as well for stopping through as always, Justin. McLean says Storm first half spread. Yeah, you could go back to it again. I know we covered with the Storm in the first half last game. Well, I didn't give it out because I didn't play it, but that was the play that I wanted to play in the last game. Just didn't pull the trigger. They've looked really, really good in the first half. Real quick, and these home wins, they are winning the first quarter by average of 5.2, winning the second quarter by average of 3.4. So 5.2, 3.4. What's that, 8.6? Yeah, so winning by average of 8.6, you can get them first half -7 right now. Seattle -7 right now, which is up because I think they were -5.5 or 6 in the last game. So yeah, I couldn't talk you off. Okay? Couldn't talk you off at all. Dropping Dom says he loves the Wings team total under. Yeah, if I play it, that's how I'm gonna play it. Chad says first line opened at 8. Same teams open, same place. 12 next game is a big jump. Think the books expect same thing in my opinion, and I would agree with that, Chad. I did look into that as well. Shout out to my guy Chad for bringing this up. So real quick, I looked at teams that are playing the same team within a 3-day time frame that just won as a home fit, that just won at home, and then they're home favorite laying 10 points or more. They're 7-0 straight up, but they're only 4-3 against the number. But the average line is 13.5, and this has only happened, of course, 7 times. Last 2 times they didn't cover. The Aces didn't beat the Fever last year. They didn't cover. They were laying 15.5. The Liberty didn't cover against the Sparks. That was actually this season. But the Liberty never covered at home. If I take out that they're a double-digit favorite, and I just look at teams playing the same team within a 3-day time frame that previously won at home and now they're home again, they are 21-8 straight up. Let me just add that they're favorite. 20-4 straight up, 15-9 against the number. So they're covering about 63%, 62.5%, winning by an average of 10 points. But that's what an average line of 7. So they are winning by about 3 more points than the average line. So yeah, this is a profitable trend. It also is a trend towards the over, 15-9 to the over, 62.5% as well. Says that the game goes over. Yeah, says that the game goes over. So shout out to my guy Chad, because I did look into this. Yeah, Chad says they kept Oubre. I see Kelly Oubre got a 2-year, $16 million extension and got Drummond. 76 is definitely won the offseason. Yeah, they are winning the offseason for sure. Yeah, I don't know if a team's going to have a better offseason than them. I agree with that. And they did it quick too. Got Drummond with the quickness. Re-signed Maxey, got PG now. Their season's still going to ride on Joel Embiid kneecaps though, but yeah. Let's see. Sincerely says I'm live betting. I agree. I think the Storm cover, but these underdog teams have been keeping it competitive, if not winning. Outside of the Storm, though, the Storm been the one team that's really been kind of putting their foot on the pedal and not really letting up. But I agree with you, Sincerely. Definitely, if they come out flat early, definitely a live betting spot for sure. Who is this? OKC re-signed Aaron Wiggins, 5-year, $47 million. He's just getting paid, dog. Okay. I like it. Okay. Shout out to Aaron Wiggins. Kalani says, I really like Jewel Lloyd over a 1.5 3. She's been heating up. Yeah, no way I can talk you off Jewel. Jewel been cooking. And the Wings don't got defenders. They have no defenders. Jose says he likes the Wings team total under. I like that a little bit more than the side. Michael says he's never bets on props that hit for him. My apologies. I'm sorry that happens to you. It happens to all of us. Bruce likes Jewel Lloyd over 21.5 points. He says 30-piece last 2 games. And dropping dimes like the Storm early first quarter, -3.5. Mark says, thanks for the breakdowns as usual, Chris. Good luck to everyone. Right back at you, Mark. Have a great day, my brother. Let him rise since the Lakers won the offseason. We got Bronny. I don't know about that. Guess we got JJ Redick too. Appreciate you, Bruce. Appreciate you for sure. Donovan says, how do you feel about Tierra McCowan under on our points? I don't even know what the line is, Donovan, honestly. But yeah, I could see fading her after having a big game last game. Yeah, if I'm looking at a team to go under on their team total, I'm not taking anybody points over. So yeah, I think you could fade her. I think you could fade, Enrique Ogunbowale. Like, I'm not big on Enrique today either. Patton says KCP went to Orlando. They slowly gonna be the sleepy team in the East, and I definitely agree with this. I think that was a very, very solid move. We got 3 years, $66 million yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, shout out to Orlando Magic. They got exactly what they needed. They needed a 3-point shooter. They needed a vet. They needed championship experience, and they got all that with KCP. Somebody that can stretch the floor. Remember in those games against Cleveland, they couldn't make a 3 on the road. KCP should be able to come in there and change that a little bit for sure. I feel like that's the perfect pickup for them. And he plays defense. So yeah, Jamal Mosley definitely got a steal. And that Orlando Magic got it. They got a nice piece for sure. I definitely agree with that. Sincerely says, hit the like button. Chris wakes up early every morning just to help us. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you, Sincerely. Best of luck today as well, man. Three Kings says, man, Ezzy don't want no smoke with 6'7". Yeah, I just think that they'll do a better job of fronting her, in my opinion. Definitely think they'll do a better job of fronting her on, so she could go under that 11. 11 seems about right though, so I'm not gonna talk you off. They're gonna get a lot of buckets. I think their offense will be improved. Cup of Joe, I do think their offense will be improved. Yeah, absolutely. And that, I agree with this, Jamie. Yeah, KCP to the Magic is great for the Lakers. Yeah, everybody that leaves the Denver Nuggets is great for the Lakers. Yeah, hopefully Jokic leaves and goes to like Charlotte Hornets. That'd be great too. Let me get out of here, man. We've been talking for a long time discussing these two games. I talked about Phoenix first quarter and why I like that so much. Just a fade of Connecticut early. And last but not least, I'll add, I haven't made an official play yet, but I'll add to this list, like we talked about, and this is one I'm leaning towards a little bit more than anything else, Dallas team total under the 78.5. I think it's widely available on most sports books, but I mentioned it. I'll just quickly, as we go through a quick recap, tell you guys that Dallas, in their 9 road losses so far, they've only scored 79 points and won. And then the 8 home games that Seattle, at 8 home wins, Seattle has only given up 79 points just once in their last 6 games as well. So, like I said, even if Seattle struggles to score and they get off to a slow start, I do think that their defense will come locked in. Don't trust Dallas shot selection with Enrique out there. And I think that it'll be less points scored off turnovers and in transition and all those type of things today. So I like Dallas team total under a little bit more than I like anything else. If I'm playing the first game, I like Phoenix first quarter, and also like the under. We talked a little bit about the under, but Connecticut and Phoenix, I didn't play it. Under 159.5, I think is the number. Somebody said it went up. Under 160.5, I think is the number. But I would look towards that to go under as well. Short list plays are not official plays. I haven't made a bet, like I said today. I honestly might not even make a bet. I might just take the day off. I don't got to stress anything, and just get to the card for tomorrow. It's 4 games tomorrow, so hopefully I can even find some guests to come on the show tomorrow and give you guys some more analysis as well. But I'll do my best. Best of luck as always to you guys. Resources page I didn't go over yet, but everything that I use to handicap the games are here as always. Definitely check out OddsJam if you guys are new to sports betting in general. They have a great selection of tools over there. You can get 25% off your first month using code CBC to sign up at checkout. The link for that is in the description. Also, the link for all my official plays is in the description when I do make them and send them out to the members. And if you made it this far, you still got a chance to, you enjoyed the show, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the show, comment on the show. Let me know what you guys are playing today, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new as well, man. Best of luck on all your action for today. Happy Monday, and I'll catch you guys again tomorrow, probably same time. I'm out.